10-2 talks about samples, and if you recall, samples are part of the population. You can take samples that are biased and samples that are unbiased. An unbiased sample accurately represents the entire population. So, for example, at NT Middle School, if I want to take a survey of students' favorite colors, an unbiased sample would be like 50 students from Team 7A, 50 from 7B, 50 from 7C, or 8C, sorry, 50 from 8D, 50 from 8E. That would accurately represent the entire population. A biased sample is one or more parts of the population are favored over others. So, for example, if I took the same survey, but I only asked students on Team 7A, then that would be biased because the students on Team 7A would be favored. So we have an example. A TV programming manager wants to conduct a survey to determine which reality television show is the favorite of viewers in a certain viewing area. He is considering the 3 samples shown below. Decide which sample would be the most unbiased sample. First sample, 100 people that are trying out for a reality show. This would be biased because the first group of 100 people trying out for a reality show would favor the show they're trying out for. Now, maybe not all of them, maybe a couple of them are only doing it for money, but for the most part, if you're trying out for a show, you probably like the show. The second group, 100 students at your middle school, this is also biased because it only includes a small age group. It's only students or shows that are geared towards teenage young adults. So maybe the MTV reality shows, Road Rules, or whatever it is. Every 100th person at a shopping mall would be the most unbiased. It's a random sample. It's not directed towards a specific group. So that would be the most unbiased sample. Now, there's some kinds of samples here. The first one is a simple random sample. Each item or person in the population is as likely to be chosen as any other. For example, each student's name is written on a piece of paper. A random name is drawn out of a bowl. Mrs. Zora has popsicle sticks with each student's name on it in a cup. Every student has an equal chance of being chosen. So those are all, that's called an unbiased sample. Another sample that's unbiased, a systematic random sample. Each item or person is selected according to a specific time or item interval. For example, if I took a list of NTMS students, every student, and I alphabetized it, or the computer would probably do it for me, and I chose every 20th person, every student has an equal chance of being selected. They're all part of the group. So that would be an unbiased sample. So those are unbiased. Biased samples are ones that do not reflect the entire group. So a convenience sample. It consists of members that are easily accessed. So for example, if I interviewed or surveyed only one of my math classes to represent the entire school population, that would be biased. It wouldn't be a true reflection of all the students. It's called convenience because it's easy to do. We have a voluntary response sample. Voluntary meaning you don't have to. So the description is only those who want to participate in the survey. Why that's not so good is because students at a school who want to participate in a survey fill it out online. Some students might not have access to online. Some students might not care enough to do that online survey. So it's only those who want to, therefore making it biased. So here are some of our examples. We have one more vocab, valid conclusion. A valid conclusion are results that are obtained from an unbiased and random sample, meaning they're true. They reflect the population. So we have some practice problems here. Determine whether the conclusion is valid and justify your answer. So number 1, a random sample of students at a middle school shows that 10 students prefer listening to rock, 15 prefer listening to hip-hop, 25 prefer no music while they exercise. It can be concluded that half the students prefer no music while they exercise. This conclusion would be valid. It's a true reflection because the sampling method was unbiased and random. Here it says random sample. Each student had an equal chance of being chosen. Number 2, one classroom of students is surveyed to determine the theme for the spring dance. Out of 25 students, 15 choose Blast from the Past. The dance committee concludes that 60% of the students like this theme best. Is this method valid? In this case, it is not. The sampling method that they used was only one class. This is called a convenience sample, which is biased. One class does not necessarily reflect all the students. Question 3. Every 10th person who walks into a department store is surveyed to determine his or her movie genre preference. Out of 150 customers, 70 stated that they prefer comedy movies. The manager concludes that half of all customers prefer comedy movies. Now, I know some students are going to say 70 is not half of 150. It's about half, though. This conclusion would be valid because it was random and unbiased. Each customer had an equal chance of being chosen. So this is the systematic random sample, every 10th person. Question number 4. A radio station asks its listeners to indicate their preference for one of two candidates in an upcoming election. 72% of the listeners who responded preferred candidate A. So the radio station announced that candidate A would win the election. This conclusion would not be valid because it only takes into account those people who listen to only that radio station. Therefore, it is biased. So this is kind of a combination of a convenience sample, because it's only their listeners, and only those that are volunteering to answer. So it is a biased sample. This would not be valid.